Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we have seen what is rural development, what is the necessity for rural development, what are the process of rural development you have seen. So we were actually going through the topic, the process of rural development. The process of rural development, that in particular topic we were going through. So as we have seen, in India, majority of the people, they live in rural areas, and among them around 22% of our population is below the poverty line. So rural development, real progress in India is possible only when the area, that is the rural area, are developed. So overall, if we want our overall growth in India, we want the rural development. That's why it is given, this particular topic is given so much importance, rural development. And what is rural development? Rural development refers to, I have told you two terms if you remember, continuous and comprehensive. Rural development refers to continuous and comprehensive socio-economic process, because it should be continuous. Rural development process, when we are doing it, should be continuous, and it should be a comprehensive socio-economic process. Why it should be comprehensive? It should touch all levels, not only agricultural development. It also should look at the infrastructural development. It should look at the human capital formation. So that is why it is continuous and comprehensive. So rural development is a continuous and comprehensive socio-economic process for what? To improve all aspects of rural life. It all touches, it should touch and it should improve all aspects of rural life. That is the definition you have seen. The meaning of rural development is it's a continuous and comprehensive socio-economic process. So rural development is a process that itself gives you the meaning, it's a continuous thing. Okay, it's a continuous and comprehensive. Not only agricultural development, we have to take care of the human resources, we have to take care of the, that means the education, health and everything. We have to take care of the, other infrastructural development and everything. So it's a continuous, comprehensive, socio-economic process to improve all aspects of what life, rural life. So that meaning also you have seen, and I hope we were going through that particular portion, process of rural development. So what the process of rural development, what are the components? Otherwise you can say, what are the things you have to do for the rural development? Okay, so process of rural development, you have already seen that it's a comprehensive term. It includes many things. It is not only agricultural development. Although 2/3 of the population depends upon agriculture, that doesn't mean rural development is agricultural development. It is a comprehensive term. So in order it is to improve the rural life in all aspects. Please understand, two terms, that is continuous and comprehensive, has made like it has a wide meaning. Comprehensive means it should touch all aspects of life, rural life. And there should be continuous improvement of rural life in all aspects. So that is why it is said to be a process. It is continuous. Okay. So what are the components, what you should do in the process of rural development? So in the process of rural development, there are various things, components. First of all, you have seen development of human resources. So for the rural development, the first and foremost important thing is development of human resources. How is it possible? What are the two important components of human resources, Siddharth? What are the two important components of development of human resources? If you want to develop the human resources, What are the two important components? Okay, Siddharth, can you hear me?
Ma'am, of human
Yes. What are the two important components in development of human resources? Development
ma'am,
of human,
individual development, career
huh?
development.
How will you do? I am asking what are the two important things which comes under the development of human resources? Sharath, can you say?
Ma'am, health.
Huh, okay, Siddharth. It was not clear to me. Did you say anything?
Ma'am, health.
Health, and the first one is education.
Yes,
The
ma'am.
two important things are education and health. So when we say process of rural development includes, first of all, development of human resources. Human resources should be developed in the rural areas. That means we have to give so explanation. But it is self-explanatory that you can write. Education should be developed. That is proper attention to literacy, education, skill development. All these things to be done in the rural area, and plus better health facilities should be given in the rural area. So that is self-explanatory. When you write development of human resources, that means proper attention to literacy, adult education, skill development, that is education part. The next, better health facilities for the physical growth and healthy people, healthy labor force and all. So that is the first thing in the rural process, rural development process, development of human resources. And the second thing is development of infrastructure. So in the rural areas, normally they lack in infrastructure. So that should be developed for the process of rural development, like electricity, irrigation, then market transport facility is not there. Then whatever agricultural products they are producing agriculture product, for that credit facility should be given, loan facility. Then marketing facility should be given, and for transportation facility, road should be constructed. All this kind of infrastructural facility should be provided for the rural development. And even for agriculture, research and extension of information and dissemination of that information, research karo, okay, which particular seed is good or productivity is more, कौन सा पेस्ट को कैसे मतलब उसको what is the solution for pests, what is the solution for insects, all these type of things, research should be conducted and the information should be disseminated to the rural people. Okay, so development of infrastructure, that is the second component you have seen in this process. Then the third process you have seen is the land reforms. Land reforms you have seen in the initial lessons. Land reforms, because the land should be given to the tiller, land to the tiller. Who is the tiller? Who toils the land? Who works with the land? जो मिट्टी में काम करते हैं उनको लैंड दे दो, उनको ऑनरशिप दे दो, and eliminate the exploitation of the landowners, landlords. Okay, so this is not the property of landlords. The tiller of the land should be given the ownership. So that is land reforms. So land reforms should be done in the rural areas for rural development. Otherwise, they will be always working hard and they will not earn anything. Their condition will be poor. So in order to what we have studied, all the aspects of life should be improved in rural development. So their standard of living should also be improved. For that, they should be given the ownership instead of the landlords. Okay, so that will improve the socio-economic conditions of the rural poor. Okay, and for improvement of social economic condition of the rural poor, there are marginal farmers. There is a kind of group of farmers or agriculturists called marginal farmers. Who are they? What do you mean by marginal farmers? Bolo. Marginal farmers कौन है? Who are the marginal farmers? Who have a nominal holding of land. बोलने के लिए तो उनके पास land है. That's not enough. ऐसे लोगों को, ऐसे farmers को हम क्या बोलते हैं? Marginal farmers. So socio-economic conditions, if we have to improve in the rural area, the land, widening the land base, सबको एक minimum land मिलना चाहिए. Land ceiling and all you have studied. सबको एक minimum land मिलना चाहिए जिससे वो लोग agriculture करें और उनका socio-economic condition भी better करें. Okay, so that will increase the agricultural productivity and agricultural production. So when agricultural productivity increase and the production will increase, automatically socio-economic condition will also increase. Not only that, because here we are discussing about the land reforms, इसलिए उसी के बारे में बोल रहे हैं. Because development of human resources you have already covered in the first point, development of infrastructure you have covered in the second point, and the third point is land reforms. That means elimination of exploitation of the landlords. Land reforms से ये याद रखना, elimination of the exploitation of the landlords. Land to the tiller. Land should come back to the tiller who toils the land. Ownership should be given to them. That then improvement of socio-economic condition by allowing or allocating a minimum, seeding of land to the people, marginal farmers, and they cannot, the marginal farmers or the landless laborers. So to all these members, a minimum land, minimum area of land should be allotted. So thus the agricultural productivity and production will come up, and we can solve the poverty in the rural area through land reform. So that was the third point you have seen. Then the fourth point is, alleviation of poverty. Alleviation of poverty. What is alleviation? Removing or, we have to solve the problem. Alleviation of poverty means poverty ko dur karna. That is alleviation of poverty. Okay. So we know 30% of the population is still below the poverty line. Around 30% of the population is still below the poverty line. So some serious step is to be taken for the alleviation of poverty. There are several steps that you will study in detail in this lesson itself. Okay, so some serious step, some focused step, and some serious steps should be taken for the alleviation of poverty and bringing about some improvement in the living standard or living conditions of these weaker sections. So alleviation of poverty, here you have to write some program should be taken by the government. Some serious steps should be taken by the government. Some program should be started by the government seriously for the alleviation of poverty. Then the last point you have seen was development of productive resources. So in this point, what is productive resources? You know, what are the resources? What are the resources? Can anyone say? What are the resources? Can you name any one of the resource? Any one resource can you name? Very good. Land. Then rest of the thing will come automatically. Okay, land, then human resources, that is labor itself, then capital, land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship. All these are productive resources. Development of productive resources. In this point, we have to write, we know they are mostly in the rural area, people are more engaged in agriculture. So other than agriculture, there should be development of the other resources also, productive resources, producing goods and services. Producing goods and services, some cottage industry, some handicraft industry, other production activities, production-oriented activities. So other than agriculture, some other productive activities should also be given importance in rural area so that they should not be the burden in agriculture. So they can earn more money through these activities and poverty can be alleviated. So in this case, in the process of rural development, you have studied 5 points. So if you know the points and you can explain it. If you know it, the logic of these things, you can explain it in your own words. So what are the 5 points I have explained in the process of rural development? I will repeat once again and you have to tell it. Okay, in the process of rural development, there are 5 things, or you can say 5 steps or 5 components we have discussed. The first one was development of human resources. तो यहाँ पर explanation तो education और health आता है, उसको याद रखना. Next is development of infrastructure. Development of infrastructure में याद रखना है कि क्या क्या infrastructure है, irrigation, electricity, power, marketing, transportation, all those things. Then third आप लोगों ने पढ़ा है process में land reforms. So in that case you have to understand land reforms क्यों चाहिए, elimination of exploitation. और land किसके पास आना चाहिए? Land should be with the tiller. Okay, and there should be a minimum amount or minimum area of land to every farm. That is, there you have to understand this, remember these land reforms. Then the last one is, sorry, the second last one is alleviation of poverty. Alleviation of poverty, you just have to write the government or have to take, or there is a need of serious steps to improve the living condition of the weaker section. Because what is the reason? Because around 30% of total population is still below the poverty line. So some serious steps or program should come for alleviation of poverty or for the betterment of the living condition of the weaker section. And the last point is development of productive resources of each locality. Development of productive resources means emphasis should be given for production of goods and services, and using the resources of a particular area. There will be some resources, using that, okay, that resources, use that resources, and for improving and find some employment opportunity, find some other employment opportunity. Okay, development of productive resources for what purpose? To enhance the opportunities of employment other than farming. Other than farming, there should be some other employment opportunities also. So find out the resources in each locality and create employment opportunities in that way. So that comes under development of productive resources. So the 5 points we have discussed under the process of rural development are development of human resource, development of infrastructure, land reforms, alleviation of poverty, and development of productive resources. These were the 5 points we have discussed. Who is going to say all the 5 points? Karthik, what are the 5 points?
Ma'am,
Are you there, Karthik?
elevation of poverty. Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, elevation of poverty, ma'am.
Yes, beta, bolo.
Land reform.
Yes. सबसे पहले क्या था बेटा?
मैम लैंड,
सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट क्या है? डेवलपमेंट
लैंड, देन कैपिटल,
डेवलपमेंट ऑफ ह्यूमन रिसोर्सेज,
मैम एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप.
उसका एक हेडिंग है बेटा, डेवलपमेंट ऑफ प्रोडक्टिव रिसोर्सेज. उसका एक साथ आता है, उसका पॉइंट क्या है? डेवलपमेंट ऑफ प्रोडक्टिव रिसोर्सेज. व्हाट इज द पॉइंट? डेवलपमेंट ऑफ
प्रोडक्टिव रिसोर्सेज.
प्रोडक्टिव रिसोर्स, वही है पॉइंट. ठीक है. और उसके पहले हमने पढ़ा डेवलपमेंट ऑफ ह्यूमन रिसोर्सेज एंड डेवलपमेंट ऑफ इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर.
Yes, ma'am.
Development of human resources, development of human infrastructure. Now, who is this? Let me see. Now, can you say all the 5 points? 5 points what? Process of rural development. Process of rural development. What are the components of the process of rural development? Naman, are you there? Okay. He's not responding. I think he's not there. Sharath? Sharath, what are the 5 components in the process of rural development? Priyanshu? there in the meet?
Yes, ma'am, you are.
Bolo Priyanshu.
Ma'am, the first is elevation.
Whatever points you remember.
Ma'am, elevation of
बोलो
poverty.
alleviation of poverty, ठीक है.
और आपने
Land reforms,
yes, ma'am, land reforms and
development of three things are there. Development of three things. What are they?
development of human resource, development of infrastructure, and development of natural resources.
Productive resources. Yeah. Land reforms and alleviation of poverty. So 5 points are there. Development of three things. That is development of human resource, development of infrastructure, development of productive resource, then land reforms and alleviation of poverty. Please listen. So this actually we have seen in the previous class. Okay, this portion. Now the next portion is a rural credit. Listen, what's the next topic? What's the next topic we are going to see? Did you hear? Rural credit. What's the next topic, Anurag, we are going to see? Which topic you should know? Anurag, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Why these children are not responding to the calls? Anurag, which topic we are going to start now? I said it.
Rural credit.
Yeah, I am actually doubtful whether you can hear me or not.
Ma'am, I can hear you now.
So we are going to see what is rural credit. What is rural credit? What must be? In agriculture, farmers are in need of credit. That particular credit is known as rural credit. In agriculture, farmers actually there's a great need for credit. Why this need is being, why there is a need? Because you know there's a long time gap between the crop sowing and the realized harvest season. That's the realization of income, isn't it? So after crop sowing, for the realization of the income, there is a great time gap. For this time, they don't have any income. So they have to take loans. They have to take credit. So that's a need for rural credit, because in agriculture, farmers are in a great need of credit. Why they are in need of credit? There's a long time gap between the crop sowing season and the harvest season, or else you can say the crop sowing and the realization of income. Their money is being tied up. So in the harvest season, or when they can realize the income only after that long time gap. So in between, they have to meet their livelihood. For that purpose, there's a great need for credit. So farmers borrow money from various sources. Initially also for the purpose of agriculture also, from different sources, they borrow money. You know, they have to buy the seeds, buy the fertilizers, the implements, and also they have family expenses also. So like us, they also have the family expenses, marriage function, some religious ceremonies. Or for all this purpose, they have to have money. They need money. So for all these things, credit is necessary. Credit is one of the important factors which contribute to agricultural production. They take credit. So an efficient and effective rural credit system should be there for effective rural development. An efficient and effective rural credit delivery system is very important for raising agricultural productivity and income. Or else you can say for rural development, this is an important thing. Rural credit facility should be good because farmers need money in order to meet their initial investment on agriculture. Their initial investment on agriculture to buy seeds, fertilizers, implements, whatever they want, and even for their family expenses, for all these purposes, they need money. So an efficient, effective system of credit delivery system should be there in the rural areas. So that particular concept is known as rural credit. Okay, and all this happens because for a long time gap between the crop sowing and the realization of their income, there's a time gap. So in that time also they are in need of money. So a rural credit system, a better rural credit system, an effective rural credit system is must for the agricultural development and rural development. Now we want to see what are the sources of rural credit. रूरल एरिया में जब एग्रीकल्चरल्स के पास, और यू कैन से पेसेंट्स, PEASANTS, पेसेंट्स के पास जब पैसा नहीं है तो वो लोग कहाँ जाएंगे पैसा लेने के लिए? In order to take loan, where they go? So that is sources of rural credit. From what are sources they can get this money as credit? कहाँ पर जाएंगे? एक ऑप्शन बताओ. When they don't have money in hand, when they don't have any money at their disposal, whom do they can approach?
Zamindars.
Yes. Then बोलो.
Ma'am, relatives.
हाँ, relatives. Then
मैम मनी लेंडर.
money lenders. Then बैंक में नहीं जाएंगे क्या? बैंक्स में भी जाते होंगे ना? They will appraise their books. So for the sources of credit, there are two types of sources. There are two types of sources: non-institutional sources and institutional sources. So as sources of rural credit, whenever they need money, they will either go to some non-institutional sources like you said, relatives, money lenders, or zamindar, rich people in that area, rich landlords in that area. All those group of people, they will go. That is known as non-institution. It's not an institution; they are persons. Or otherwise, they will go to any institution like banks. So there are two types of sources of rural credit. One is non-institutional source. The other one is institutional source. So is it clear to you what are the sources of rural credit? There are two sources. One is non-institutional. किसी के पास जाके पैसा ले लेते हैं. कोई रिच आदमी होगा गांव में, नहीं तो कोई जो अपना कोई एक बोलेगा कि तुम लोग का फसल मेरे को दे देना, मैं पैसा दे दूंगा. ऐसे ट्रेडर्स एंड कमीशन एजेंट बोलते हैं, उनके पास जाएगा, नहीं तो रिलेटिव से पास जाएगा. सो किसी आदमी के पास जाके वो ले लेंगे. दैट इज non-institutional sources. अभी किसी बैंक के थ्रू, नहीं तो गवर्नमेंट को अप्रोच करेंगे, किसी बैंक को अप्रोच करेंगे, उसको बोलते हैं institutional sources. So likewise, we have two sources: institutional sources and non-institutional sources. Non-institutional में जैसे आप लोगों ने बोला है, इसमें आएगा मनी लेंडर्स आते हैं, रिलेटिव्स आते हैं, ट्रेडर्स एंड कमीशन एजेंट्स आता है, रिच लैंडलॉर्ड्स आता है. So you just know the names of those non-institutional. ये पर्सनल एक पर्सन देते हैं. ठीक है, उसमें कौन कौन आता है? मनी लेंडर्स, रिलेटिव्स, ट्रेडर्स एंड कमीशन एजेंट्स एंड रिच लैंडलॉर्ड्स. इनके पास जाने से प्रॉब्लम क्या है? इनके पास से यस
मैम दे विल चार्ज हाई इंटरेस्ट रेट में.
एग्जैक्टली, दे विल चार्ज एक्सॉर्बिटेंट रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट. ये एक प्रॉब्लम है. सो मनी लेंडर्स के पास आप जाएंगे, दे विल एडवांस farm credit and they will exploit the farmers by charging exorbitant rate, very high rate of interest. और ये भी नहीं, कई बार इनकी अकाउंट्स भी मैनिपुलेट करते हैं. मतलब अब हम लोग 10,000 रुपीज सपोज किसी फार्मर ने ले लिया, 10,000 रुपीज ले लिया, बार 200 300 करके उसको वापस दे दिया. बाद में ये लोग अकाउंट मैनिपुलेट करके बोलेंगे इतना पैसा देना है अभी भी. So they can easily manipulate their account also without their knowledge because it is not systematic. तो मनी लेंडर्स ने कह दिया अब इतना रुपीस और देना है तो देना ही पड़ेगा. Okay, so they charge exorbitant rate of interest and also they manipulate the accounts. Accounts मतलब कितना देना है वो सब में वो लोग manipulation करेंगे. So relative से देने से normally interest नहीं रहता है. Borrow money from relatives अगर अच्छा relative है तो I mean interest नहीं लेगा. ठीक है? So एक का one kind of instrument credit, non-institutional credit is relatives. This is okay. Borrow from their own relatives, but normally ये amount बहुत कम होता है. Relatives के पास भी rural area है. They are also agriculturists. If such a case, they don't charge interest. Okay, but it is okay. Then traders and commission agent. एक कौन रहते हैं? Traders and commission agent माने they also charge high rate of interest, but on a condition that the crops will be sold to them. इसमें बहुत problem है. They will say crops should be sold to us. They will give the credit. Okay, so traders and commission agents, the traders and commission agents, they will give the loan and they charge the interest, but a condition they will keep, the crops will be sold to them at a fixed price or at a decided price. इस price में हमको जब भी तुम्हारा crop हो जाएगा हमको दे देना. So the farmers are again in trouble. They won't get the expected rate which is prevalent in the market because rate is fixed in advance. Okay, so they will fix in such a way that will be benefiting them. So you can say that fixed price अगर ज़्यादा हो गया तो so they will always fix that rate in their own favor. So traders and commission agents, they are also exploit the farmers. Then rich landlords. Okay, rich landlords. ये लोग क्या करेंगे? ये लोग भी high rate of interest charge करते हैं. They also exploit them. So all this category like money lenders, relatives, traders and commission agents, rich landlords, they exploit the relatives तो हम exploit नहीं बोल सकते. Still they come under the non-institutional sources. Money lenders, traders and commission agent, rich landlords, they exploit the farmers. These not institutional sources का components है. आप लोगों ने जो पढ़ा, what are the components of non-institutional sources? याद करके देखो. Non-institutional sources में क्या कौन-कौन है component? Who are included in the non-institutional sources? बोलो.
Landlord, village traders, money lenders, and relatives.
Okay, good. Then अभी institutional source. Institutional source का क्या है? Institutional source.
Ma'am, bank.
Exactly, उसमें bank आएंगे. So government established institutional sources are there, which is controlled by the government. So in order to save these farmers from the clutches of the money lenders, from their exploitation, from the debt trap, okay? So to them in order to save them because they are charging the high interest and they manipulate their accounts. So in order to save them from the exploitation, the government established some institutional source. With what objective? What were the objectives of establishing? To provide credit at a cheaper rate. To provide credit at a cheaper rate. And to assist the small and marginal farmers in raising their agricultural productivity and maximizing their income. I have told you who is small and marginal farmers. Relatively, their holding is less. That is known as small and marginal farmers. And to assist the small and marginal farmers in raising the agricultural productivity to maximize their income. So these are the objective of institutional sources. Keep in mind, what are the two objective or twin objectives of institutional source? One is for, it is sure that to protect or to save the agriculturists from the clutches of the money lenders and to provide adequate credit to farmers at a cheaper rate. That's the first objective. And the second objective is to assist the small and marginal farmers. Okay, one is the landless farmer, the other is small and marginal farmers. ये भी ना के बराबर है. Small and marginal farmers, they have only marginal holding or small holding, उनको भी help करना है to assist small and marginal farmer in raising their agricultural productivity and maximizing their income. So these are the twin objectives of institutional sources. Cheap rate में देना और इनका exploitation से बचाना. Okay, first में लिखना हो, then to help small and marginal farmers also in increasing their productivity. Okay. So some institutions, as you know, some institutional sources are cooperative credit institution, cooperative credit. Okay, cooperative credit, you know, that is based on the cooperative rules. They are not the profit motive. Okay, they give loan at a cheaper rate or at a low rate of interest and save these farmers from the clutches of the money lenders. Then next is land development bank. So first is cooperative credit. That's the most important rural credit institution. Mein rural area mein most important is cooperative credit institution. They give at the very cheap interest and help them. Then next is land development bank. Land development का difference क्या है? ये लोग mortgage their land. On the mortgage of the land of the farmers, they give loan. That's the difference. Cooperative credit ऐसे नहीं, land mortgage नहीं चाहिए. Land development bank gives loans on the mortgage of their land. Land pledge करके देते हैं. और difference ये कि they give long-term loan and comparatively big amount also. Land development bank gives mostly that by mortgaging the land, and the next difference what I told is comparatively bigger amount they will give. Land development bank comparatively bigger amount they give for a longer period of time. So actually these loans are provided for permanent improvement of land. Agricultural purpose, daily agricultural purpose के लिए नहीं है, routine agricultural purpose के लिए नहीं है land development bank. ये permanent improvement land के लिए और otherwise tractor लेना, ऐसे purchasing agricultural implements के लिए, ये सब काम के लिए देते हैं land development bank. याद रखना, it is given for permanent improvement of land or for purchasing fixed assets in the case of agriculture. So it includes comparatively a big sum they give and for a longer period of time. Okay, so land development bank gives on the mortgage of land comparatively big sum for a longer period of time, because here it includes permanent improvement of land. Is it clear? Then comes
Yes, ma'am.
Then comes commercial bank. Commercial bank भी देते हैं, जैसे cooperative bank देते हैं, commercial bank भी credit देते हैं. Okay, 1969 में nationalization of banks हुआ था, तो बहुत सारे branches rural area में भी आ गया. After 1969, commercial bank has nationalized. After that, several branches have been opened in rural areas. They started directly financing the farmers. Commercial bank has started directly financing the farmers. Then आता है regional rural bank. Regional rural bank भी commercial bank जैसा ही है. It is opened up in those areas where there are no banking facilities. Regional rural bank कैसा होता है? जहाँ पर बैंक फैसिलिटी नहीं है वहाँ पर regional rural bank ओपन हो जाती है. इनका भी मेन ऑब्जेक्टिव क्या है? Credit and other facilities to small and marginal farmers, agricultural laborers, artisans and small entrepreneurs in rural area. Not only for agriculturists, they will give loan for artisans and small entrepreneurs also. Artisans को ने जो handicraft सब करता है और entrepreneurs को सबको देते हैं regional rural bank. And regional rural bank का speciality क्या है? They will open up it. The areas where bank facilities not there, they give loan to farmers, and small entrepreneurs, artisans, to everybody. Okay. Then the government, another institution is the government. Government also provide loan. Normally it is known as Takavi loan, TACCAVI. Government provided loans are known as Takavi loans. And this is actually given during the emergency or distress, famines, flood, etc. Okay, it is being given. The rate of interest charged is such a loan is low. Normally the government charges a low rate of interest. So government also, just understand that government also gives under the institutional agricultural credit or institution for rural credit. Government is also an institution, and the loan provided by them are known as, bear in mind this word, Takavi loans, TACCAVI, Takavi loans. And normally it is given like during emergency. कोई डिस्ट्रेस हो, famines हो, flood हो, उसी टाइम में गवर्नमेंट ये देते हैं. और interest is normally less than 6%. That means comparatively less than the other loan. Okay, so you have seen now 5 institutions, and the next is institution we will see in the next class, that is NABARD. Okay, so 5 institutions you have seen. What are they? Just remember the 5 institutions. Non-institutional sources we have seen: money lenders, relative, traders, commission agents, and rich landlords. और institution में आप लोगों ने क्या क्या देखा? Institutional credit में क्या क्या देखा? Cooperative credit, land development bank, commercial bank, regional rural bank, and government. 5 देखा, अभी 2 बचा है. कौन कौन सा 5 था इंस्टीट्यूशन में? कोऑपरेटिव क्रेडिट, लैंड डेवलपमेंट बैंक, कमर्शियल बैंक, रीजनल रूरल बैंक, द गवर्नमेंट अंडर इंस्टीट्यूशन. इंस्टीट्यूशनल सोर्सेस में क्या क्या है, कोई बताओ? इंस्टीट्यूशन.
मैम
या
मैम फर्स्ट वन गवर्नमेंट, मैम कमर्शियल बैंक्स,
यस
regional rural bank,
यस लैंड मॉर्गेज बैंक, लैंड
yes ma'am,
मॉर्गेज,
and cooperative.
cooperative bank. Very good. Cooperative bank, commercial bank, regional rural